currently we're at our director's house in Collas in the south of France. We have spent the whole week filming with this green screen right there. Maybe it's not a green screen when you see it, but it's a green screen for me, I can tell you.
We have two screens, and one is a mirror of Jekyll, and the other it's for illustrate the different act of the piece.
This week we've been doing a couple of read-throughs, mostly working on Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde.
What's interesting about it is even if you haven't read the book, everybody's heard of the expression Jekyll and Hyde, Jekyll being the good, Hyde being the bad. Jekyll is a chemist, and he's a very smart man who is on the verge of big discovery. He manages to create this potion which will divide his self into two different selves. One is the virtue, and the other one is his whole bad side, essentially, or his naughty impulses. And as a result, some dubious activities ensue.
The character of Hyde I have been working on is super fun.
Your strength is my strength. We are one!
It's like a dream for any actor. He obviously represents the evil side. He lives for the deadly sins and lives to taunt Jekyll into doing what he thinks is the way things work in this world.
So Miss Lennian is a Victorian lady, but an unconventional Victorian lady in that she is very well educated. She has interest in the sciences, theology, and is quite educated, unlike many Victorian women, unfortunately. And she develops an interest. Initially, to me, it's more of an intellectual interest towards Dr. Jekyll, but eventually she kind of fall in love. There's a sort of little courtship that happens between the two. Well, at the end, she has a pretty badass move. Makes me happy as a feminist.
Alors dans Jekyll and Hyde, je joue le personnage de Hutchison, qui est le meilleur ami, le plus vieil ami du Dr Jekyll. Il est avocat, donc il est très carré, très organisé dans ce qu'il fait, et c'est lui qui va détecter peut-être les premiers signes chez Jekyll de quand il commence à se transformer.
I've been acting on the stage from the age of about 17. Actually, that's not that many years. What is that, 7 years? Feels like more than that.
My first acting experiences were in France. I started doing musical comedy, and in plays at my school, but it was like in an auditorium in front of 300 people, so it was like a pretty big thing. I was in The Lion King, West Side Story, Hair, like the big blockbusters.
I grew up in a small town in Nova Scotia, and just because there was not much to do, honestly, in that small town, kind of to keep me out of trouble, my parents put me in all these dance classes, got me involved in theater, and I just loved being on stage, basically, so I continued dancing, doing plays here and there.
Alors, j'ai commencé le théâtre quand j'avais 14 ans. Et 2 ans après avoir commencé, sous l'impulsion de ma prof, j'ai commencé à passer des castings, des auditions. J'ai tourné un petit peu pour TF1, pour France 2, dans des séries. Puis après le bac, j'ai intégré une école de théâtre. Et donc voilà, ça fait à peu près 10 ans que je fais du théâtre. Et comme quoi, il y a...
So my little Hyde moment was when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I got christened a bit later than most children, and so I could stand. And I remember my parents sort of bringing me to the altar for the priest to put water on your face. And so the priest tried to grab me, and obviously I didn't want him to grab me, so I sort of started running away, and proceeded a whole episode where the priest was running after me in the church while everybody was essentially dying of laughter.
Sometimes we're all a little bit bad. I'm usually a very well-behaved little girl.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Should I go for it?
One time I was hanging out with my friends. It was getting later in the night, and we decided to go for a walk. All of a sudden, end up in a very, very bougie part of Montreal called Westmount. Those are very big houses. A lot of them have pools. And, you know, it was the summertime and we saw this pool that seemed to be quite easily accessible. And so my friends and I looked at each other and we kind of psyched ourselves up to go in. So obviously we went in the pool. We got a little rowdy. You know, at first we were being very careful and we got a little rowdy and we got a little loud. And all of a sudden we heard like a door open and we didn't even like look. We just grabbed our stuff and ran.
I was 9 years old. I was with my mom and my sister in a bookstore in Berkeley. That summer, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the book, came out. And the first thing I decide to do is take the book and I see what character dies. And I go tell that to my mom and my sister, who were huge Harry Potter fans.
Alors, quand j'avais 12-13 ans, donc j'ai commencé la guitare et j'avais un autre ami qui faisait de la guitare. Et il était très amoureux d'une fille dont j'étais amoureux également. Et je savais qu'à une soirée, une boum quoi, il avait prévu de lui jouer un morceau de guitare. Et j'étais tellement jaloux que je suis allé, dans la maison où on était, je suis allé fouiller dans la boîte à outils du papa de l'ami chez qui on était. Et j'ai trouvé une pince et je lui ai coupé les cordes de sa guitare. Pour pas qu'il puisse jouer son morceau. Voilà.